Welcome back to BT Friday morning and getting things jump-started with a great conversation about health, the North Shore Seniors Health Expo, the first ever happening this weekend. And Dr. Heather Palmer joining us right now. Thanks for being here and waking up early for us. An important conversation about dementia. Yes. Dementia care being covered this weekend, and once that diagnosis hits in your work and practice, what is the reality? One for the patient, two for the caregivers.
Right. So I think probably some of the next steps right off the bat are to try and identify, what is causing the dementia. So what is the possible progression of the disease, and what can we do about it to set the person up for success as much as possible to continue to live independently.
And in terms of defining the condition of what the symptoms are, because sometimes we may look at a family and say, is that just simple forgetfulness, or when do you know it's time to go and get checked and see if there is an official diagnosis?
That's a great question. I think a big part of it is a gut instinct. So family members and even the possibly affected person, sort of gauging how they're comparing to their same-aged peers. Do I have the same kind of symptoms, or is there something a little bit different? So do I get confused a lot more easily, or am I getting lost in familiar surroundings more so than I used to, and more so than my same-aged peers? If you start to see some of those signs, it's certainly worthy of going to have it explored, because it could be something very simple related to nutrition or a recent grief or loss, or it could be some brain-related disease that you want to identify so you can start doing something about it.
And maybe the fear of the diagnosis can simply come from a lack of understanding. What do you find are some of the common misconceptions and challenges with just understanding dementia?
I think a lot of the terminology is confusing to people. So a huge amount of fear, I think, comes from when someone's told that they might have dementia, they automatically think Alzheimer's disease. And for some reason, there seems to be a lot of fear associated with Alzheimer's disease. So trying to destigmatize what that means and clarify terminology, because dementia is really just a category of diseases that's suggesting that there are cognitive changes that are different to the normal aging process. But there's many different forms of dementia, so it doesn't necessarily mean diagnosis of dementia means Alzheimer's disease.
And what are some of the realities and challenges if, in fact, it is Alzheimer's disease, and how does it differ from simple dementia?
Well, sometimes there can be a more rapid progression of the disease. There might be more opportunity to better understand what to expect and what systems can be put in place to help support the person. The medications absolutely differ depending on the kind of dementia it is, whether it's a multi-infarct dementia or a dementia related to Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's disease. So there's lots of value in trying to understand what's causing the dementia, what form of dementia it is, and what can we do about it, because it will differ depending on that.
What can we do about it is the big sentiment that stands out, which is great to have an expo like this this upcoming weekend. In terms of dementia care, what has changed, and what can people do to support those that are suffering to help make a change and hopefully improve the condition?
Well, without question, there's absolutely lots that can be done. So it's not a terrible diagnosis to necessarily get. Trying to set the person up for success, so helping to promote independence, maybe changing their environment a little bit around so that they can continue to live independently at home with some support. So just like with physical aging, if we had changes in our hearing or our eyesight or mobility, we would look for those tools and adaptive devices such as hearing aids and glasses and walkers. Very much the same with the brain. When there are brain-related changes, what are the tools and the adaptive devices that I can put into my environment to help me to remember better or help me to function better from a cognitive perspective?
Is it becoming more common with these the diagnosis of dementia here in BC, here across the country? Is it something that's increasing, or is it something that's just staying status quo?
I would suggest with our aging population, so we certainly have the baby boomers are getting to that particular age. I think we're seeing a lot more earlier diagnosis of dementia, and we have a lot more seniors. So it would appear as though it's on the rise, and we're certainly going to see a lot more of it. But the good part about it is the earlier the diagnosis and the understanding, we can teach people how to improve brain function and develop systems and pathways that actually help them to manage longer in an independent way.
So plenty of resources happening this weekend. Tell us what's going to happen at the Expo on Saturday?
Well, the Expo at Saturday, it's a Seniors Expo fair that's really focusing on 4 main streams: a cognitive stream, a social stream, financial stream, and I'm temporarily forgetting the 4th stream.
Bonus stream, you got to go to find out.
There you go, absolutely. We're keeping that a secret, just so you go.
That's great hook.
Intentionally, yeah, unintentional. And so there's lots of great talks. Experts are speaking in the different areas, and then there's a whole bunch of different vendor booths, so services and supports and community operations that can help really to support people who are experiencing both physical and cognitive aging, whether there's dementia or not, just normal aging altogether.
Community sounds like the key word. So westvancouverrec.ca is the website for you to get down there and check it out this weekend. Dr. Palmer, again, appreciate you waking up early and being here for us.
Thank you very much.